On the world news, 11 confirmed dead following Mumbai building collapse. Morocco legalizes medicinal cannabis use. Morocco legalizes medicinal cannabis use. And also on the world news, U.S. President Joe Biden arrives in the U.K. for G7 summit. Good afternoon and welcome to the world news on ITV. My name is Philip Omo-Gupon. The Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria yesterday suspended its nationwide strike, which paralyzed the Nigerian courts for over 2 months. The union cited the intervention of the National Judicial Council and other stakeholders in reaching the decision to suspend the strike. Kingsley Uchegbu has details. We'll bring the report later on. The Inspector General of Police, Akali Baba Usman, says the police is beginning to witness increase in its personnel, improvement, logistics, and welfare amidst recruitment of more personnel. The IGP stated this during his visit to the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Kingsley Uchegbu tells us more.
The IGP, Alkali Baba Usman, urged senior police officers to motivate their men through rewards and sanctions. He said the police was also taking delivery of some equipment from the Police Trust Fund, adding that the request of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, for equipment was noted. The IGP promised that the police authorities would focus on training and retraining of policemen to enable them discharge their duties with professionalism.
The issue of crowd control, riots, so that you go back to the agreed or accepted norms of discharging these duties and responsibilities. You must also control the use of firearms by way of discharging our duties and responsibilities through an intelligence-led policing, through technology-based practices.
The IGP earlier paid a courtesy visit to the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Kingsley Uchegbu reporting.
The Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, has suspended its 65-day-old strike. The decision to suspend the strike followed an appraisal of the report indicating the gradual implementation of the items contained in the memorandum of action signed between the unions and the federal government. According to a statement issued by the National Publicity Secretary, Abdullahi Yawa, the suspension of the strike will take effect from 10th June 2021. In reaching the decision to suspend the strike, the union said it took into cognizance the appeals made by the government, revered traditional stools in the country, members of the National Assembly, chairmen of governing councils of federal polytechnics, and members of the public who showed varied interest in the matter. The Esama of Benin and Honorary Romanian Consul to Edo and Delta State, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawa Igbinedion, has been honored as the first to be named in the Hall of Fame of Boys Brigade Nigeria for his outstanding contributions in humanitarian services. Patson Saw reports that the honor was officially conferred on the Esama of Benin when the executive members of the Boys Brigade Nigeria Edo State Council paid him a courtesy visit at his Okada Avenue residence in GRA, Benin City.
The
The state president, Boys Brigade Nigeria, Edo State Council, Sir Bibowe James Brahe, said as the chief patron of Boys Brigade, the Esamaro Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawa Ibenedium, has contributed so much to the development of humanity and deserves all the honor. He noted that in the history of the Boys Brigade, Edo State Council is the first to establish the Hall of Fame.
We are indeed glad to pay you this courtesy visit after the ceremony of your induction and others into the Hall of Fame of Boys Brigade Nigeria, Edo State Council. And to state that in the history of Boys Brigade Nigeria, Edo State Council is the very first to establish the Hall of Fame in line with our national item, the labor of our heroes shall never be in vain. Amen. To honor distinguished personalities, you are specially chosen in view of the fact that you have been a patron since 1968.
The group later presented the plaque and the photograph of the Esamaro Benin that will be on the wall of the Council Secretariat of Boys Brigade Nigeria. The Esamaro Benin, an honorary Romanian consul to Edo and Delta States, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawa Ibenedium, while receiving the award, expressed appreciation for the honor done him and pledged his continuous support for the body.
Grateful to all of you that see the not let the Boys Brigade perish. In some states, they are not acting again. But I can see how it is happening. With your team.
The Boys Brigade Band performed to delight Pius Nsogo reporting.
The Nigerian Bar Association said it is set for a legal battle with the federal government over its decision to suspend operations of the microblogging and social media platform Twitter. The association's national publicity secretary, Dr. Rapulu Unduka, said a 13-member committee has been set up to handle matters relating to the suit the association planned to file against the federal government. The NBA on Friday threatened to institute a suit against the federal government over the suspension of Twitter's operation. The federal government says following the suspension of its activities in Nigeria, Twitter has reached out to the federal government seeking high-level discussion to resolve the issue. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this to journalists after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council. ITV Abuja State House correspondent Igarota reports that Council approved a draft of supplementary budget of 895 billion naira for the year 2021.
This is the second Federal Executive Council meeting in the month of June. It was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. After the meeting, journalists sought to know the current developments surrounding the suspension of Twitter in Nigeria. Information and Culture Minister Alhaji Lai Mohammed says Twitter has reached out to the federal government seeking high-level discussion to resolve the issue. He insisted that the microblogging platform was suspended because it provided an avenue for people that are threatening the corporate existence of Nigeria.
Only this morning, I got communication that yes, they are now ready to hold senior-level discussions with us. Just now, I can confirm. I just confirmed with my colleague now. Yes, I just got the information.
According to Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the owner of Twitter helped to fund the recent EndSARS protest while allowing the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, to use the platform to call for the killing of policemen. According to Alhaji Lai Mohammed, freedom of speech has not been stifled by the suspension of Twitter, as he maintained that Nigerians can still use other platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. In another development, the Federal Executive Council approved a draft supplementary budget of 895 billion naira for the year 2021. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed disclosed this while briefing State House correspondent. Ahmed said the next step would be to present a bill to that effect to the National Assembly for approval.
The total of this expenditure is made up of 83.56 billion for COVID-19 vaccine program, covering 30 billion vaccines from Johnson & Johnson and the logistics costs relating to.
Gave approval to draw down on some existing World Bank loan totaling about 39.59 billion naira as part of the financing source for the supplementary budget.
In line with this approval, we have been also given approval to draw down on some existing World Bank loans totaling about 39.58 billion as part of the financing source for this supplementary budget. And we will be working with the World Bank to restructure some of the existing facilities to realize this 39.58 billion.
Ahmed said the approval also contained the permission to borrow 722.53 billion naira for security expenditure, which will be from the domestic international capital market. From the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Iharo Atta, ITV News, Abuja.
As stakeholders continue to discuss measures to stem the spate of insecurity in the country, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to provide legal backing for the creation of state security outfit. ITV Abuja National Assembly correspondent Charity Tanko has details.
The House of Representatives resumed plenary Wednesday with deliberations on the best approach towards ending insecurity in the country. One of the approaches presented by the House is a bill for an act to amend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to provide for the creation of state security outfits. Sponsor of the bill, Representative
and widespread violent crime in every nook and cranny of the country has no doubt overwhelmed the Nigerian police as presently structured both in personnel capacity as well model operandi.
Continuous communal clashes in Shangom local government area of Gombe State was also brought forward by Representative Karu Silas Elisha.
While such communal clashes result in the displacement of settlers, communities, it also places undue hardship on the people and their immediate environment, for which local and state authorities may not have sufficient support mechanism. Worried that the displaced persons will suffer the tremendous risk of security, health, nourishment, and social well-being, as the communities do not have access to support to meet their challenges.
In another development, the House raised concern over the disbursement of agricultural loans from 2009 till date. In his motion, Representative John Okafo lamented over the inability of farmers to access the 275 billion naira approved by the federal government due to stringent conditions attached to the process.
Food production has not attained the expected level despite the approval of the over 275 billion naira facility to farmers. Worried that the projected diversification of the economy from oil production to agricultural production and increase in agricultural output, food supply to access loans meant to increase agricultural production.
A motion on the need to reconstruct the Upper Siluko Road in Edo State was adopted on the floor of the House. Charity Tanko, ITV News, Abuja.
Still to come on the world news, 11 confirmed dead following building collapse in Mumbai. Know that you can watch ITV on Roku TV in UK, America, Africa, and other parts of Europe. Also on Smart TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android TV. View us on TSTV on channel 364, nationwide on StarTimes channel 130, and Go TV 107. Thanks for staying on. Moving on, at least 11 people have been killed after a residential building collapsed in the western Indian city of Mumbai. Officials say rescue efforts are underway as more people are feared trapped in the debris in Malad area. Ameze Obaisiagbon has details.
Eyewitnesses said the two-story building collapsed onto smaller structures next to it. Police say that about 18 persons were pulled from the debris, but only 7 of them survived. Senior Officer Dilip Sawant told newsmen that the police will carry out a proper investigation into the cause of the collapse and take further action. Maharashtra State Minister Aslam Sheikh said that rescue efforts will continue to look for survivors who could still be trapped under the rubble. Building collapses are not uncommon in India, especially during the monsoon season. Officials said they have evacuated other dilapidated buildings in the area as heavy rains are likely to continue in the coming days. Ameze Obais Yagbon reporting.
U.S. President Joe Biden and his wife have arrived in the United Kingdom ahead of the G7 summit. Amezo Baishagmo again reports that this is his first official overseas trip since his inauguration as president.
President Joe Biden warned Russia that it faces robust and meaningful consequences if it engages in harmful activities. Mr. Biden made clear his intention to strengthen ties with U.S. allies following strained relations under the Trump administration. He will meet Prime Minister Boris Johnson to agree to a new Atlantic Charter.
I'm heading to the G7, then to the NATO ministerial, and then to meet with Mr. Putin to let him know what I want him to know.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said they are both aiming to refresh a vital relationship after the pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Don't forget, this is the first time in 6 months in office almost that Joe Biden, the US president, has been able to come overseas for a major trip. It's his first time on the European continent. It's the first time any of us can. And, you know, the pandemic, let's face it, was a pretty scratchy period for the world.
At the end of his trip, President Biden is due to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Geneva. Ameze Obais Yagbon reporting.
The Moroccan parliament has passed a law legalizing the production of cannabis for medicinal and industrial uses. The aim is to tap into a growing global market, boost agriculture, and create jobs in the underdeveloped rural areas. Morocco is one of the world's biggest producers of cannabis for illicit recreation uses. This will remain illegal under new legislation. Have charged deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi with corruption, the most serious charge laid against her till date. Ms. Suu Kyi is accused of accepting cash and faces up to 15 years in jail if found guilty. She faces 6 other charges relating to alleged illegal imports of walkie-talkies and inciting public unrest. The former state councillor was arrested on February 1st when the military seized power in a coup. She has since been held under house arrest, and little has been seen or heard of her apart from brief court appearances. Besides Ms. Suu Kyi, several other former officials face similar corruption and bribery charges. A court in Moscow has banned political organizations linked to the jailed Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny, classifying them as extremists. Such activists will risk prison sentences if they continue their work, and anyone who publicly supports Mr. Navalny's political network can now be barred from running for public office. Despite this, Mr. Navalny promised he would not retreat. However, he said his supporters would now have to change in an embezzlement case. Charges, he says, are politically motivated. Russian parliamentary elections are due to take place in September, and opinion polls show the ruling party losing support. Some of Mr. Navalny's supporters have been planning to run in the elections. Following the ruling, a court statement said Mr. Navalny's regional network offices and his anti-corruption foundation had been banned with immediate effect. Argentina's president has apologized for saying that Brazilians were from the jungle in remarks about his country's European heritage. He made the controversial remarks as he and visiting Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez met business leaders in Buenos Aires. Mr. Fernandez later said his country's diversity was a source of pride. Mr. Fernandez said he was quoting the Mexican poet Octavio Paz, but commentators later said the offending phrase was taken from a song by Argentine musician Lito Novia, of whom the president is a keen admirer. And now talking sports, Super Eagles technical advisor Gennett Ross said his team will be ready for the start of the 2020 FIFA World Cup qualifiers later this year, despite their poor showing in the international double friendlies against Cameroon. The three-time African champions played a goalless draw against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon on Tuesday after they lost 1-0 last Friday. Raw is, however, member. The Super Eagles will host Liberia in their first game in the qualifiers and then travel away to Cape Verde for the second fixture. Still talking sports, some football fans in Benin City have expressed divergent views on the Eagles of Nigeria and indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Kingsley Uchebu has details.
The friendly match brought together arch rivals, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon and Super Eagles of Nigeria, for the second time in less than a week. The match ended goalless, and despite Cameroon's dominance during almost 80 minutes of play, football enthusiasts, including sports journalist Salihu Ibrahim, said having lost the first friendly against Cameroon on Friday by a long goal, the outcome of the last friendly against traditional rival Cameroon without any win does not inspire Nigerians. The media officer, Bendel Insurance Football Club, Kehinde Osagede, said the outcome of the friendly match calls for a formidable Super Eagles team in the build-up to the African qualifiers for the World Cup in Qatar 2022. The fans expressed disappointment and urged Super Eagles coach Gennett Ross to work on the team, as the recent games have exposed lack of tech.
The first game on Friday, that the performance would improve. But then when you consider that there are so many new players coming into the team, and then perhaps the core of the team not being able to make it to Vienna, Austria for that game, maybe we would consider it and say, okay, it wasn't such a bad performance.
Having lost the first one 1-0, and that goal came first half, any technically sound coach will definitely fight back, considering the name Nigeria and the caliber of players we have. And again, after pulling a draw in this second one, the man made a comment that really, that because players, the big boys didn't come. What do you mean by that?
Chairman dominated the game. Maybe the synergy was not there because Terry Murphy, for example, was playing for the first time.